Greetings. It's your buddy, your pal, your friend, your teacher, your ace, ABW. So the question comes to me very often. ABW, man, I understand about the mindset and a lot of different things like that, they're working on the inner game, but just give me some old school tricks of the trade, man. Something that I can just, pull out real quick. Don't just pull out anything. But anyway, some kind of trick, man, that I could use. Something I could pull out my toolbox. Horror stories. Horror stories. WHORE stories. Horror stories. Be very careful. Be very careful with this. Put a disclaimer out there right now. The horror stories can backfire on you, but it can also do wonders for you when well placed in the conversation. What I mean by horror stories, a lot of okay. Well, the question was posed to me specifically from a guy who you would classify as a nerd. I like nerds. I'm a nerd myself, actually. I'm a nerd, and this guy's a nerd, and you wouldn't think, you know, ravaging sexual prowess when you look at this man. You think about him. At least I'm thinking a female wouldn't. Most females wouldn't. And that notion, you know, it does. If your intention is to have sex, it does put you at a disadvantage. It can, if you allow it, but those barriers can be overcome. And horror stories kind of does that because she is going to have her idea in her head about who you are, and it's not going to be in the sexual nature. And if your intention is to have sex with her, you want to turn her mind to look at you in a sexual nature, and a lot of nerds aren't put in that light. So if you're in the situation where you're getting to converse with the female that you're pursuing, that you have attraction to, I can really drill this down and really get into it, and start to really work some dialogue and things like that just comes, that should just give you an idea that you don't have to repeat verbatim, but can give you, putting you into that mind frame of what's worked for me, and what's, just general principles that can trigger different things in women, spark their excitement. And storytelling is valuable in any type of enticement game. When we talk about marketing, advertisement, and then attraction, enticing somebody, storytelling is always an advantage. You look at the best commercials; they tell stories. The best songs tell stories. Stories stick out. We all remember stories from our childhood and different things like that. So we know storytelling is valuable. Storytelling is valuable when it comes to attracting a female. If you have the opportunity to have a conversation with her, I can't tell you. I mean, I like I said, I can drill down for you, but that's something that we'd have to really get in depth with on a one-to-one basis. But to put it in general principle terms, when the moment strikes, and when the opportunity is there, and when you've assessed the situation, if it's appropriate, or even the person that you're dealing with, don't be afraid to tell your horror story. Your horror story. Make it compelling. Work on it. Make it compelling. Make it intriguing. If hopefully it's true. Hopefully you have some kind of horror story. If you don't, you can go ahead and embellish. You can go ahead and tell a story. Every guy has some type of horror story, to where, what I mean by that is, you want to let her know that you've had, you know, wild nights with women. You've had women ravage you and throw themselves at you. You've had that experience. Maybe Be like I said, be careful. Depending on who you're dealing with, you can talk about maybe if you had a threesome, or you know, let her know that you are not just sitting around. You've had experiences. I let her know that you like women. Women like you, and that they come after you. Don't be like, yeah, I get girls all the time. No, 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 no. That's not attractive. That's not hot. You got to work on your anecdotal savvy, your anecdotal savviness. Be able to tell great anecdotal stories that are going to get you to a point where you're trying to, where you get you to a point where you're trying to go, where you're trying to take this relationship intimate, whatever. Storytelling. Tell her your horror story. Show her your dog side. That's gonna be intriguing to her. It's gonna be intriguing to her on some level. And if you're telling her a story and she's asking questions, she's asking you, oh, what? She's asking you something about the girl, or how did you meet her, or hey, let especially depending on where you're at. If you're in a place, or if you meet her and she's known, or you're known, don't let your reputation. If you have a reputation, don't let it follow you, or don't let it come to her faster through somebody else than it does through you. You know, if you know that she knows something about your past, or somebody you used to mess with, depending on some type of, a lot of job environments, people kind of move through move through the ranks. Different people, that is a reality. Maybe I'll talk about that at another time. But sometimes your reputation can precede you. Be forthcoming about it, and you know, be assured of it. Be confident of it. Like, yeah, I was a whore. You know, make it a part of your weakness. Make it your show some vulnerability, and some vulnerability, and show that it's a weakness of yours. Women love to work on a project. They love to think they can tame somebody. They love to think that they can change somebody. Or maybe sometimes they love to think that they can challenge themselves to see, I can resist them. Why have all these women lined up and got knocked off? I can be different. That's what's in their mind. That's not always reality, of course. Again, your story should be as authentic and as non-braggadocio as possible. Again, be vulnerable, be comical about it, be real about it, be down to earth about it. You can start to seep yourself into her subconsciousness of sexuality. Now you're presented as a sexual figure, especially if you present it as a true obstacle or a weakness, or not a weakness, but something that is a part of your life, that is, I mean it as in producing the right results that you wanted. Maybe you've had some failed relationships. Maybe you've broke some hearts. You know, you've done some things that you shouldn't have done. Maybe that's a part of everybody's reality, but that's also part of your story, and that might not fit under the category of horror. But you do want to highlight anything that's gonna put you in a sexual light. And this is your friend, your pal, your buddy, your teacher, your ace, ABW. God bless, man. Take care.